Welcome back to another Gaming Memories video. Here we are taking a look at Porsche Challenge that was actually released on the PlayStation in 1997, and this here game is mainly based around the Porsche Boxster that was actually released around that time, and this game was obviously a means of having to promote that car. So my first experience with this here was actually on a demo disc. It was actually the very first demo disc that I'd actually bought myself as part of, at the time, was the UK PlayStation magazine, and you used to get a demo CD every month with a selection of games, and the very first demo that I did buy had Porsche Challenge, had Micro Machines V3, Monster Trucks, and it had Excalibur 2555 AD. Now, I'll be honest, actually, for owning the first demo, it was actually a fantastic selection of games. Right, there was only 4 games on the demo, but it was actually a great disc actually to get, because it had 4 really, in my opinion, cool games. Right, I know they may not be as considered collectible items, or probably some of them probably weren't considered as great back in the day, but I thought they were really good. I definitely enjoyed them. Some of the games on that disc will actually turn out to be some of my most favourite games on the PlayStation. This here is actually one of them. Now, the demo you played was it on the USA stage, and the handling physics on the cars were different to this here, because again it was an early kind of beta phase demo. Graphically, the game looks fantastic, and especially for its time looked really good. The handling physics, as I mentioned, were very different. It was definitely a lot harder to handle the cars. Now, in the final game they did refine that. The handling is still a little bit on the twitchy side, but it's still very good and very easy to pick up and play. The demo didn't have as good a handling, but it was still playable enough that you could enjoy it, even though it was a little bit more difficult, especially when you compare the two. I will actually do a future video actually talking about that demo and even compare the demo of this here compared to the final game, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. But going back to the game anyway, you primarily only have one choice of a car, primarily the Porsche Boxster, but you have different types of drivers, and again each driver has their own type of colour based off the car that you choose, and you have like different championships and different tracks. There's like different modes, time trial and so forth. You can play like through a full championship, and one of the unique things about this here, now there's a select few tracks, but there's different variations to each track. So when as you're going through the championship, you will have to replay the tracks, but what happens is once you've gotten past whatever amount of tracks there is, I think there's 12 races in the championship mode, and once you get past the first 4 races, you'll replay these 4 tracks again, but you'll have different routes to take. And then on the final 4, on the last 4 races of the championship, again you will replay them again, but what will happen is that you will have alternative routes that will actually open up throughout the course of each lap. Every lap in the game will be different. You'll have a different route that you need to take in order to try and win the race. So again, it was something that was quite unique, and it kept you kind of on your toes when you were driving, that it wasn't predictable. So it was quite fun. Now I have to say, now I know that there was only just like literally the one car in this game. I know that back in the days that a lot of, say, magazines, they actually did give it good ratings, but the one thing that they didn't like about it was the fact that there was literally only the one car in the game. But that didn't take away from the overall gameplay. This was actually quite a good game. So it was, and it was definitely one of my favourite driving games on the PlayStation at that time. And I remember actually buying it once or twice. Actually, I actually bought it when I had the PlayStation. I got it fairly cheap, and I remember playing it a ton. Really enjoyed it. Even my friends, my brothers and stuff like that really enjoyed it as well. Even playing the multiplayer, the split screen aspect of it was quite good too. Showed you we weren't the best at it, I will admit, because it is a tough game, because you've always kind of got, like, say here, you've always got like one type of nemesis driver going against you the whole time throughout the race. So the second you mess up, even for a split second, they're on you straight away and they'll pass you every time. They're never really too far away from you. No matter how much of a lead you think you've gained against them, they're always within a second or two of you all the time. So, because you may feel like that you've gotten, say, a good few seconds away from them, But the second you even tip a wall or you crash into a corner, literally within 2 seconds they're straight on you and pass you out. So it does add a good bit of challenge to the game. Sometimes it can be a little bit cheap in terms of how the AI does tend to kind of screw you over when you're coming to win in races, how the other car can literally pass you out at any given time. So it can be a bit of a nuisance that way, but apart from that, it is actually a really enjoyable game, and it's definitely for me one of the better racing games on the PlayStation. So it is, even though it wouldn't have as much probably to offer compared to some other games out there, but it's definitely one of the best, and it's actually one of the best looking racers on the PlayStation as well. Graphically, it's a really good looking game, and it still holds well in my opinion even today. So it does. So it used to be also good, like say with multiplayer aspects as well. I used to play it split screen as well, which say friends and say family members and that as well. So I used to get good bit of enjoyment out of it. Now I remember then after a while, after this was a good few years later, I do remember actually I was moving house, so I ended up having to sell a lot of my games because I just had nowhere to actually put them, and I ended up selling this. But I ended up then a couple of years later bought it back again because I actually missed playing it, and it's such a good game, and it definitely has that kind of retro kind of style feel to it, especially if you're into racing games at all. It's definitely one to check out. That's one of the reasons why I purchased it or picked it up again. It's always a game that I will admit I'll always go back to because it is a really good racing game. It really holds its own on the PlayStation, even though, like I said, it does have a fair few limitations in terms of the choices of cars and so forth. But it is, in my opinion, it's a classic game. It really is. And if you haven't played Porsche Challenge, I highly recommend that you do check it out because it is a fantastic driving game, and it's definitely one of the best, in my opinion, racing titles on the platform, hands down. So what are your thoughts on Porsche Challenge? Did you own it back in the day, and if so, did you play it? Did you enjoy it? Be sure to share your thoughts down in the comments below. So if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be updated whenever I release future videos, as I will be replaying classic games such as this here, and also exploring other games I never got to play back in the day on the PlayStation, and sharing my views and experiences with all of you. Plus it also helps to increase engagement and allows me to create more videos for the channel also. So until next time, keep playing those classic games and enjoying them, and make sure to keep those gaming memories alive.